Next topic is intermediate alloy phases. Intermediate alloy phases. Okay. What is intermediate alloy phases? Just I told you, intermediate compound, intermetallic compound. Here intermediate alloy phases. Okay. Intermediate alloy phases. Intermediate phases are those phases whose chemical compositions are intermediate between the two pure metals and generally have crystal structure different from those of the base parent metals. Okay. A material is there. B material is there. Okay. When A and B materials you are combining, you are mixing. Okay. During mixing, A some part, B some part have good solubility. A and B up to some extent those have good solubility. Some extent have no solubility because those are unable to follow Hume-Rothery rules. So the some extent what it unable to follow Hume-Rothery rules is there na, those form intermetallic phases. Okay, intermediate phases. What is intermediate phase? Intermediate alloy phases. What is intermediate phase? Are those phases whose chemical compositions are intermediate. Whose chemical compositions are intermediate between the two pure metals. A is a pure metal, B is another pure metal. Both you are combining. Okay. Those chemical compositions, intermediate phases are those phases whose chemical compositions are intermediate. Okay. Those chemical compositions are intermediate between the two pure metals and generally have crystal structure different from those of base metals. Okay. Hope you understand. Nothing complication is there na? So go through this point again for a minute. Hope you understand now. Okay. The alloy can be made up of solid solution, phase entirely, or can exist along with an intermediate phase. Alloy can be made up of solid solution, phase entirely. What is solid solution? If A and B can mix well and form a different material, when A material is completely soluble in B, so then the solution is called solid solution. Okay. So at all cases it is not possible. Okay. Alloy can be made up of, those are many alloys are there, many alloy materials are there, means many combinations are there. Alloy can be of A and B completely soluble material alloy. Alloy can be A and B partially soluble and partially insoluble. Got it? Alloy can be made up of solid solution, phase entirely, can exist along with intermediate phase. Simple ga A ni B ni, when A and B you combined, when B is completely soluble in A, then it is solid solution alloy. When B is unable to solve completely, some part soluble, some part not soluble, so then also it is alloy. Okay, but that alloy has intermediate phase. That alloy has intermediate phase. That's what I mean. Alloys are two types. One is completely soluble alloy, solid solution alloy. B is, another one is some portion is completely soluble Another some other portion has intermediate phase. Got it? Intermediate phase here is nothing but, what is intermediate phase? I am telling in this slide. Intermediate alloy phase na? What is intermediate phase? I am trying to tell in this slide. Okay? Intermediate phase here is nothing but a compound and is made up of two or more elements. Which at least one of them is a metal. Intermediate phase here is nothing but a compound. It is simply a compound. Intermediate phase, inside a metal, one phase. It is a compound made up of two or more elements. It is also made up of two or more elements, which at least one of them is a metal. Okay? Hope you understand what is intermediate phase from the example of upma. Okay? Intermediate alloy phases. Here three are there. Three phases are there. Those are intermetallic or valency compounds. Intermetallic or valency compounds. Second one is interstitial compounds. This intermetallic phase is of three types: intermetallic or valency compounds, interstitial compounds, electron compounds. Okay? What is intermetallic or valency compounds? First one, intermetallic or valency compounds. When your alloy is exclusively metal, A is also metal, B is also metal, okay, are called intermetallic compounds. What are intermetallic compounds? When A and B both are metals, then those are called intermetallic compounds. Okay. These are formed between chemically dissimilar metals and are combined by following the rules of chemical valency. These intermetallic compounds, how they are forming? Intermetallic compounds, how they are forming? Between chemically dissimilar metals. A and B are metals only, but chemically both are dissimilar. A is completely different, B is completely different. Okay? A material is completely different material, B is completely different material, but both you are combining. Those both are metals only. Chemical compositions are different, chemically dissimilar. Okay? And are combining following rules of chemical valency. We have Hume-Rothery rule, valency rule, but those are following that rule. When two metallic compounds, two metals are following valency rule, are able to mix, okay, and have both the different chemical compositions. Okay, that's how these are forming. Got it? That's how these are forming. Right. The combination is usually non-metallic and show poor ductility. These intermetallic or valency compounds, in this how the two metals which joined by following the valency rule and both have different chemical compositions, this combined material is there na, those are poor ductile. Means you cannot elongate that. Those metals you cannot elongate. Ductile means what? If any material is capable of drawing wires from that, or if any material is capable of capable to elongate after applying load, then you can call that material is ductile. So the materials, metal alloy is formed by following the valency rule and both have different chemical compositions. So that kind of materials are poor ductile and poor electrical conductivity. I am telling the properties of that materials which followed intermetallic or valency compounds. Okay, those are poor ductile and poor electrical conductivity and have a complex crystal structure. Complex crystal structure. Crystal structure is not only simple cubic or FCC or BCC or HCP. Those have some other different complex crystal structure. I am telling only basic four: BCC, SCC, HCP, and HC, and many other crystal structures are there. Okay, so it will form the complex crystal structure. Okay. Example for these intermetallic compounds are Mg2Pb. Mg2Pb material, that is called magnesium plumbide. Magnesium plumbide, combination of magnesium and plumbide. When you combine magnesium and plumbide, it will form magnesium plumbide. So that material is come under this intermetallic valency compound. That means magnesium have different chemical composition, plumbide has different chemical composition. Okay, between chemically dissimilar metals. Chemically, these two, magnesium and plumbide, are chemically dissimilar metals, but those are obeying the Coimbra-3 rule, valency rule. So they are able to combine. So those materials are intermetallic valency compounds. Example is magnesium plumbide. Another example is Mg2Sn, magnesium stannide. Magnesium stannide. Okay, and another Cu2Se, copper selenide. Copper selenide. These three are the best examples of this type of materials. Okay. Let us go to the second. Interstitial compounds. Intermetallic phases are three. One is intermetallic valency. Second one is interstitial compounds. What is interstitial alloy? Substitutional alloy, interstitial alloy, solid solution alloy. Three types of alloys we discussed. Right? What is substitutional? Atom have same radius, same size. What is interstitial? It told carbon material, iron material. Into the iron material, into the ferrous, you will add carbon. So, if adding a small size diameter material, atom diameter material, into some big size atom diameter material, is nothing but interstitial alloy. Okay, I am just recalling interstitial. What is interstitial compound? These are similar to interstitial solid. These are similar to interstitial solid solution. Just now I explained now what is interstitial solid solution. When you are combining A and B, A has different atomic radius, B has very small atomic radius when compared to A. When you are combining those two, when it forms solid solution, those are called interstitial solid solutions. So these interstitial compounds also similar to interstitial solid solutions, except that they have more or less fixed composition. More or less they have fixed composition. They have fixed composition. Okay. In interstitial solid solution, you can combine like anything, but interstitial compounds have fixed composition. Okay. Example is Fe3C. This 3 must be down. 3 must be down. Fe3C. Iron carbide. Iron carbide. Same example I am telling. Iron carbon you are adding. Right. These interstitial compounds are metallic in nature. Have high melting points and extremely hard. The metal formed by intermetallic compound have high melting points Means if you want to melt that material, you need a high elevated temperature, some 2000 degrees centigrade, 3000 degrees centigrade, like that. Okay? High melting point and extremely hard. Those are very hard. Okay? Have high hardness. So that is about interstitial compounds. Electron compounds. Third one is intermediate phases is electron compounds. You need to concentrate more in this. Electron compounds. There are variable compositions and do not obey the valency law. These are, you can mix A and B even though they are unable to obey valency. You can mix A and B materials, okay, even though they are unable to obey valency law. These are variable compositions and do not obey the valency law, but have a different electron to atom ratio. Electron to atom ratio. Okay. Every atom has a nucleus at the center, electrons revolving at. Nucleus has proton and neutron. So in every atom of metal, electrons revolving around the nucleus, no? And another atom, A material atom, B material atom. This B atom also have electrons revolving it. Okay. So those electrons sharing bonds will happen. Due to sharing of that electrons, bonds will happen. Okay. So this A and B material, if you want to combine, when it form a compound, electron compounds. Okay. Electron compounds. Those should have, even though those are not obeying the valency law, even though those are not obeying Fermi-Rothen's rule, but they should have a different electron to atom ratio. Electron to atom ratio. What is electron to atom ratio? Let us see. Let us take one example. Cu9Al4. Copper and aluminum you are adding. Copper material, copper metal and aluminum metal you are adding. Okay. Cu9. Each Cu atom has one valence electron. What is the copper valency? One electron. Each aluminum has valence electrons, 3 valence electrons. Copper has 1 valence electron, aluminum has 3 valence electrons. So, total here Cu9, aluminum 4. So, how many atoms are there total? 13 atoms, which make up the compound have 21 valence electrons. 9 plus 4, 13. Here copper has 1 valency. 1 into 9, 9. Aluminum has 4 atoms. 4 has valency 3. 4 into 3, 12. 12 plus 9, 21. So total compound has 21 valence electrons. Total has 21 valence electrons. Okay. With the electron atom ratio 21:13. What is total atoms? 9 plus 4, 13. Valency ratio, total valency 21. So, what is valency atom ratio? Electron to atom ratio? Valency electron to atom ratio 21:13. Okay? Simply hope you understand. Cu9 Al4. Copper has 9 atoms, aluminum has 4 atoms. So total 9 plus 4, 13. 13 atoms. Okay. Valence electrons. Copper has valency 1. Aluminum has valency 3. 1 into 9, 9. Aluminum has 3 valency. 3 into 4, 12. 12 plus 9, 21. So 21 is valency electron. What is the ratio of atoms to valency electron? 21 is to 13. That is 21 is to 13. Okay. Electron compounds have properties same at the phase of solid solution. That is, even these electron compounds have similar to solid solution. Solid solution ante A and B can easily mix, completely soluble. Okay. So electron compounds materials also have properties similar to solid solution material. Wide range of compositions. They have wide range of compositions and high ductility. These properties, these metals, these alloys have high ductility. Okay, and low hardness. Low hardness. Okay, the compounds formed because of electron compounds have high ductility and poor hardness, whereas interstitial compounds have high melting point and extremely hard. Hardness is more. Okay. What we discussed today? Okay. We have discussed intermetallic compound phases and Hume-Rothery rule force. Hume-Rothery rule, there are 4 rules. One is atomic size rule, second one is crystal rule, third one is valency rule, fourth one is, what is fourth one? It tells about fourth rule. Electronegativity. Electronegativity rule. After that, we have discussed intermediate alloy phases. After that, we have discussed intermediate alloy phases. In that intermediate, what is intermediate alloy phase? I told you. When you are mixing two materials, some part is not properly mixed, or some different composition will be there. Those come under intermediate alloy phases. Those are of 3 types. One is intermetallic valency compounds, second one is interstitial compounds and electron compounds. We have really well discussed these 3 compounds. Okay. So this is about the today's presentation. Okay. Hope you understand. Are you all following well? Okay. Fine. Thank you.